Welcome to this latest edition of the Real Deal podcast. I'm your host, Cyril Gerald Quinn, episode 815. This is a half scheduled, half emergency podcast. This time 2 days ago, did not expect to do this podcast. We were absolutely saving Rob Sapp for the NBA playoffs, and we're going to give him at least 6 weeks off until we got that going. But the NFL is the NFL. Robert Sapp, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm doing well. This is definitely an unexpected treat.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like thinking about the podcast we did over the course of this NFL season. I know that Russell Wilson being traded had to come up at least a half a dozen times. Like we would say, hey, will it happen? Can it happen? Possibilities. So on and so on. I thought it was a possibility, but I did not foresee it happening, and that's where we of course begin with the Denver Broncos receiving Russell Wilson. Denver gets Russell Wilson in the fourth round pick. Seattle gets Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, 2 first round picks, and two second round picks and a fifth. Um, Thought a lot. It's been over 24 hours now, and I've been watching NFL football for over 35 years. I've never like this is historic. Like I did the digging. We've never seen a franchise Super Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback in his prime get moved. Um, Especially in the Super Bowl era. Now, you want to go back to like Fran Tarkenton, Y. Tittle, sure, like those guys is one Norm Van Brocklin, but even they did not have the resume before when they were traded that Russell Wilson had at the time they were traded. Um, I feel like I feel for the Seattle fans. I really do. I really do because this will go down as one of the worst and dumbest trades in the history of the NFL football, and that's not hyperbole. I'm dead ass when I say that. You're moving a guy who, you know, comes off a season where, and it's funny how narratives just especially dumbass narratives, just fester. Like, yeah, Russell's on the decline. I'm like, yo, he threw for 25 touchdowns, had 6 interceptions, and he played with basically with a messed up thumb on a bad team, poorly coached with a horrible organization. And I'm like, you look at the last 2 months, he actually played well in December and January. Um, so I'm like, no, we're not doing this. He's on the decline shit. I watched the games. I watched Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's fine. So you try to rationalize what you like. You don't believe it. You don't believe it. You try to rationalize it. Let me be honest with you. There was no rationalization for this. There was no way that I could be like somehow that I can even remotely see why the hell Seattle did this. Again, some of the stuff is obvious as far as you read the articles about the relationship deteriorating between Wilson and the organization, Pete Carroll in particular. Yeah, you hear that. Yeah, we didn't want, basically came down to a money thing where we didn't feel like he was worth $50 million a year once his contract was up. By the way, in 2023, not this year, 2023. So you still had another year to make that decision. Um, yeah, you'd be like, oh, sure, that's the market for a franchise quarterback at this point. Like Justin Herbert and those guys, when their contract is up, are going to get well over $50 million. Lamar Jackson, when he signs his next contract, will get in excess of $50 million. That's just the cost of doing business for a franchise quarterback. And even for guys that haven't won championships, this guy has a championship and multiple Super Bowl appearances and has been just frankly just one. I mean, the start of his career, you're talking about 10 years, 8 years in the playoffs, 9 Pro Bowls, um, 51 games over 500, and the fourth highest rated quarterback in the history of the National Football League. So again, this whole idea that he's not a top quarterback is don't even like if you're buying that, then you just haven't been watching the games. What were your initial thoughts? And now your thoughts even now as 24 hours later.
Stunning, just stunning. There are very few moments when I am just not very, very locked in at work. And I actually need like time to myself to like get myself together. This is one of those moments. I could not believe what I was looking at. I could not believe it. As you were talking, I was thinking about what made this different from other big time trades, right? Because we just got finished with with Harden and Simmons,
right?
And so it's like what made this feel a little different. Well, we've been through the disgruntled superstar enough to kind of feel a rhythm, right? First, this is the first. The reason why what I'm trying to say, the reason why this is different was this was just the first part of it. The first part is the superstar expresses their dislike of the team. Then the next part is the team kowtows to them, and then the superstar comes back for another season, but then is continuously unhappy, then demands the trade, then the team bends to that trade, right? Like there's an ebb and flow to this, is my point. We never got to any ebbs and flows in any of this. It was just like, he's unhappy, then he gets injured. Then I know what knocked it off my radar, honestly, completely knocked off is that he came back. I expected after the discontent, I was like, oh, he's going to spend every second of this rehab. No, he came back early and played. I was like, why would he do that if he wasn't content? So it just kind of like knocked it, put it on that back burner, like, oh, we still got some ebbs and flows to go before this actually becomes real. My big point here is that it was stunning because it came out of nowhere from the fan perspective. I'm not locked into a lot of things, but this year I was really, really plugged into this NFL season. I was really plugged in. It was a great distraction. My team's good. I'm into everything. So I know that the reporting got as far as there were discussions with teams about Russell Wilson. And that was it. But as you know, as we all know, everybody was laser focused on Aaron Rodgers because he had gone through all the ebbs and flows. And the Aaron Rodgers saga felt like that was the end. It had gone through all of those ebbs and flows. The last part was him demanding the trade, and we were waiting for that. Then Aaron Rodgers gets re-signed, and 20 minutes later, literally 20 minutes later, Russell Wilson's traded. When you gave me those back to, I mean, like, I think in a way that I think like as you were processing the Aaron Rodgers, by the time you sent me the text, 18 of those 20 minutes had passed because it was literally like, Rodgers in Denver. I'm like, back in Green Bay, I'm like, okay, cool. It's like Russell's in Denver. No, no, on every level, no. So stunned and shocked, disbelief, and just like, are you kidding me? Another dominant quarterback in the AFC. This is too much. Was then my last thought in the moment.
Yeah. So this, in terms of the beats of the athlete, the superstar athlete, who was out. This was not that.
No, we didn't get to any of the other parts.
No, we didn't get to any of that. And I'm be honest with you, I don't think if he doesn't get traded, we would have got to that, to be honest with you. Because I feel as though they, in essence, I feel this, and this is my theory. I feel though as though Pete Carroll, John Snyder wanted him out as much as he wanted to be out. you can like
in the hand. I agree.
you can, and here's the thing: the Seattle. This is where, and this is let's see, this is where you need. And I'm not usually strong on owners meddling, but this is where you need a Robert Kraft to be like, no, we're actually not trading Tom Brady for Jimmy Garoppolo. Sorry, Bill, it's not going to happen. No. This one Super Bowl that they won back in 2013 has seemingly bought them, Snyder and Carroll, a lifetime pass to do whatever the fuck they want.
And honestly, I'm fine with that, bro. I'm honestly fine with that.
No.
You can't trade Russell Wilson.
Here's my.
They all deserve lifetime passes. All of them for been Seattle to done.
Here's the thing: they have been Snyder and Carroll over the last 5 to 7 years have been bad.
Yeah, but they built that team that won the Super Bowl.
They did build a team won the Super Bowl, but they've been bad the last 5 to 7 years. And I think that won the Super Bowl. It does sure they're great, but no, at a certain point they like over the last really 4 years they've wasted a franchise quarterback's prime years with those decisions.
It's him wanting out.
And I think that like we've seen one Super Bowl winners just get moved on and say, hey, you know what? It's not working anymore. We saw that Philadelphia, Doug Peterson. We saw it John Gruden back in the day in Tampa Bay, and we saw it in Baltimore with Billick. Just because you win one Super Bowl, it does not grant you. It should not grant you a lifetime pass. They had period. And I think that the ownership failed their fan base miserably because the bottom line is Pete Carroll has not evolved with the game, and the game is frankly passing by. Pete Carroll should have been gone 2 or 3 years ago. I was calling for it this year in particular. Like this. They both should be gone. And I got even digging into this a lot today, I have more respect for Russell Wilson considering how he played over the last 4 years with these two and what they've done with that roster. I mean, their drafting and their player development and some of the free agents that they've brought in have it's been a shit show. And now you're talking about completely rebuilding. Yeah, you have some picks, but you don't have those picks are okay, cool. But good luck. You talking about good luck finding a quarterback. Good luck with that. Like the quarterback was you have the Giants looking at Mitchell Trubisky.
So hard to find a quarterback.
It is fucking impossible. Nearly impossible. Not impossible, but nearly impossible.
You know how many franchises? That's what I was talking about. Harrison with New England and these teams that have had quarterbacks for a long time. They just forgot.
Think about the franchises. Think about the franchises that have gone decades upon decades upon decades without having a quarterback. Think about Miami since Dan Marino. Think about the Bears since forever.
Yep.
Okay. Think about Detroit.
Yep.
I mean Washington since Theismann. Like we're talking third. No, you have a guy who is a franchise Hall of Fame guy in his prime. 33 is not what 33 once was in the NFL. These guys are playing. Quarterbacks are playing longer. The ones that stay relatively healthy. He's a guy that had been durable, hadn't gotten injured to this year, hadn't missed a game to this year. So it wasn't an injury issue with him. To trade this guy away, in essence, give him away, even the compensation was bad. It's a reason why we've never seen anything like this. We've never seen anything like this. The only thing that comes close, it wasn't a trade. The only thing that comes closer to a guy that moved on to another team when he still had some great years left was Peyton Manning, and that was some extenuating circumstances. Manning had a neck injury, and Indianapolis had the number 1 pick in the following draft, which became Andrew Luck, and we knew Luck was going to be a big time player. He was like that generational talent. And I don't blame Indianapolis for cutting Peyton Manning coming off of neck surgery and what have you. But trust me, they don't cut Peyton Manning if Andrew Luck is not available. Like that's just not gonna happen. They knew Andrew Luck was good. Like they knew they had the number one pick and they were gonna get Andrew Luck. So it took a lot. It took a neck surgery and it took the fact that Andrew Luck was going to be the number one pick in order for that to happen. But there's no precedent for this ever. for moving a guy of this ilk. And you look at, like, let me ask you a question. Who's the second best quarterback in the AFC right now?
Well, look, even before we get there, I really want to respond to some of that. All right. So if I put this in the buckets, right? Like, and so like if we're going to do that, I mean, like this is an awe-inspiring trade. It's just an awe-inspiring one because it is history. It is absolutely history. Like we are living it, breathing it right now. And so there are so many different angles to look at it on. And so if I'm looking at it just from, all right, well, what's wrong with Seattle and their thought process? I don't even need to build a case. It's very simple. It's very simple. When something doesn't make sense in sports, go ego. That's it. Yes. Just go ego.
Yeah.
When something doesn't make sense, go ego. And of course, this makes no sense. I mean, it just makes no sense. There's no reason to even try to rationalize, but it makes no sense. And so all you have to do is look at ego. And then you look at everything you said about management in Seattle, 100% correct. Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. And he's fantastic and whatever. Everybody wants him as a quarterback. Like that's ridiculous to even be thinking anything else. So that part right there. Now I'll get to you because we spent a lot of time ishing on Seattle. I know you might come up on Denver. I'm so very impressed by Denver. I'm just gonna say that, and then I'll leave for the next segment. So that's the other big one. When you ask that last question though, of who's the best quarterback in the NFC, the answer
who's
is
the second? Who's the second best?
No, second best is Dak Prescott. But the answer honestly is I truly don't care because all the quarterbacks in the AFC. And whoever comes out of the AFC is going to destroy the NFC. Guaranteed. I'm putting my money down now. It is going to be an absolute war. That's an absolute war zone in the AFC. And so it's that, but honestly, the answer is it doesn't matter. Because whoever's come out the NFC.
No, here's my point. The reason why I asked that question, I didn't like you can go Prescott, Stafford, whatever. Like I don't even.
No, it's Prescott.
I don't care about. I don't care about the answer to the question. My point to that question, I asked.
No, I gave you the answer. It's Prescott. It's Dak Prescott.
Sure.
Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback is the second best quarterback.
Yeah, okay, fine.
No, not fine. You just need to say it as well. You need to agree with it.
No,
that's true.
I'm not going to say it.
True. You need to agree with it.
I'm not going to say it. True. My point is the Seattle Seahawks had the second best quarterback in the conference. That's my point. They had the second best quarterback in the conference, and you traded him. You traded by far the second best quarterback in the conference, and probably the most accomplished quarterback in the conference, or second most accomplished behind Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, they're equally accomplished. I mean, like
equally accomplished. But Aaron Rodgers has more MVPs.
If you're following MVPs, yeah, sure, okay, all right. If you just if we're just checking off just the different.
Well, in terms of winning, in terms of winning is in terms of wins, yes. I can he's won more games, the second most games to start of a career than anybody in history in the first 10 years. So you give up that and you join now a group that I'm very familiar with, that you once were familiar with, and that is quarterback purgatory, to where you are chasing your tail trying to find that guy.
It's the worst.
And it is trust me, yes, we know it is the worst.
It's the worst.
It is the worst.
It's the worst. It just is.
I mean,
it is. There's nothing. It just is. It just is. It's horrible.
Because you know it doesn't matter how good that offensive tackle is. It doesn't matter how good your tight end is. It doesn't matter how good
And
your
what's
running back
messed
is.
up is deep down, you know it, but you have to generate some type of like, I gotta believe this is some. It's just the worst. It's the worst. You're absolutely right. Keep going. Sorry. Deep down,
Yeah.
you know
So you want the
no, it doesn't matter.
so we look at Russell Wilson again. He again the record speaks for itself. Um, the thing about his tenure with Seattle, and you'll look at it, and if you're scratching your head as a Seattle fan, is, and I got the number up right now, sacked 400 times, 427 times in 10 years. It is not hard to build a competent offensive line. It's really not. Since Kansas City fixed theirs in one offseason. You draft offensive lineman, you pick one off free agency, and there is like that, just like that, your offensive line could be improved or what can be improved. So the ideal that they, Snyder and Carroll, allowed this to get to a point to where your quarterback's getting the hell beat out of him year in and year out. The basis of Russell Wilson's frustration was the fact that he was evolving and improving as a quarterback, but not only to get the shit kicked out of him, but the franchise was getting worse. That, I mean, this wasn't this. See, this is why I'm not buying, and you'll hear this. You're gonna hear this over the next couple of days. I'm not buying the angry superstar wanting out thing. Like, no, this is completely different. His anger was legitimate. Like, if I'm getting better and I'm playing like a top 5 quarterback when healthy, and you as a franchise are getting worse, yes, I'm going to be pissed off. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little upset, a little bit angered by that. I come back, like to your point earlier, you come back from an injury, which you could have easily sat the season for, or easily.
No, he came back early,
He
8
came back
weeks.
early, yes. I'm saying
The whole
but
8 weeks.
if he really didn't, if he really was the angered superstar, he could have sat the season. He could have sat the season with that. If he really wanted to go to the Ben Simmons, James Harden, that way, that go that direction, he easily could have sat the season. He came back early, and to us came back too early because he didn't play well at the beginning when he came back initially. So no, I don't think this is, to me. I'm not putting this on Russell Wilson as far as, yeah, he might have won it. He might have won it out, but I don't. I don't see it again. I don't think he really was pushing hard to get out. I don't foresee a situation where Russell Wilson sits out the season or holds out even training camp based off this. To be honest with you. So to me, I'm squarely pointing at the organization, management, ownership, Snyder, Pete Carroll, squarely. Like, this is, like, to your point, ego, dysfunction, the game just completely just passing them by, especially Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's 70 years old. And I'm not trying to age shame, but look, like that, that fun loving, that energy and all that stuff he had early in those early days. Nah, that's just, that shit don't fly anymore. We listen, we're both in education, right? The game changes in football is similar to this. Things change every 2 to 3 years, sometimes every year. If you don't evolve with the times, you are gonna get your ass kicked. Excuse me, your ass kicked, per se. Like, it's just all there is to it. Like, I don't, you can't do stuff. You can't coach in 2022, 2021 like you coached in 2015 or 2016 or even 2018 for that matter. This is not going to happen. And again, if I'm an owner and I'm watching this season after season. Think about this, right? Before this season, before the injury, Wilson had a 3 to 4 year period where he was literally a top flight quarterback. When's the last time we recognize Seattle as a legit Super Bowl contender?
You asking me that question?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Yeah, when
Yeah. I mean, like it's been forever.
it's been been since the last time they went to the Super Bowl.
I guess two things. I 100% agree with you. Of course, I also don't think it's even framed as a Seattle versus Wilson, like who's right or wrong in this, or Wilson disgruntled. I think they're going to get crushed. I think Seattle's going to get crushed nationally. I don't think anybody's on Seattle, the franchise's side on this one. And honestly, they've been going downhill for a while. So this is not even viewed as like a positive net move for Seattle either. So to me, they're just getting what they like. I don't have intense emotions towards them because I feel like they're getting exactly what they deserve. And they been like if you do something stupid, you should get the consequence. Everything they've been doing since they did something stupid in the Super Bowl, they've gotten the consequence for it. So I'm actually okay with everything that's happened to them. Because they do dumb stuff. They draft poorly. They have poor records. They have Russell Wilson that gets crushed behind horrible offensive line. You never should do that. You never should do that, everything. And then what ends up happening, what should end up happening is your franchise quarterback eventually wants out of there because they're getting killed behind your stupidity. So all of this actually tracks logically in terms of Russell Wilson's position. It just doesn't track logically at all from the team's position. And I think everything you point out is accurate, and they are getting deservingly destroyed for it.
Yeah, like I said, this is never we've never seen anything like this.
It's so wild.
It's so
wild.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things like you see some wild shit in the NFL, but in sports, but this
is NBA level wild.
Yeah. No,
this doesn't happen in the NFL.
No,
not normally. No. This is. I thought it was a gangster move for the NBA to do the shit, the Harden, Simmons thing during the Super Bowl, because that's actually, honestly, let's keep things all the way real. That's when things really pop for the NBA, when it's about a superstar moving, right? Like that is that's the thing that takes the Super Bowl off the main headline, right?
Yep.
I did not think the NFL had a response.
No,
I didn't.
I didn't.
I did not think they had a response. This is a response. This is a legitimate response to that. Like, anything can fucking happen in the NFL. Crazy.
Yeah. No, it really is. I mean, like again, the NFL, the winner is the NFL. The NFL wins again as far as just being dominating the Twitter, the internet, the conversation. The Denver perspective.
Yes, this is actually what I really want to talk about.
So Denver gets Wilson. They get him without giving up any of their main pieces,
which is crazy.
Which is when you they keep Bradley Chubb.
I mean, good look, and also the Seahawks go away. I mean, everybody can try. I mean, like the fan, like going to fan psychosis is a different thing. But this one I'm talking about consequences. The Seahawks will be horrible next year. They just will.
Yes.
And so this will be the consequence of your actions. And after that, probably Carroll and Snyder are both let go. If not that season when they're horrible, then the next season when they're horrible. So they'll ultimately be fired off of this, and Seahawks will continue to be horrible. They will go back to their natural place in all of this, where they were before. Nobody gave a damn about the Seahawks before Russ Wilson. This is the thing that everybody does forget. Even in everything you said, Ril, which is absolutely on point, this is what you left off. Before Russell Wilson got there, who was supposed to be their starting quarterback?
Matt Flynn.
Yep. They signed him to a multi-million-dollar year deal.
Yep.
So this is what was coming in anyway. Like at first, Russell Wilson fell into their laps. Now they can go back to where they were supposed to be. Bye-bye, Seahawks. Nice knowing you. So I'm just so okay with this. They're getting exactly what they deserve in all of this. They're crazy. This is stupid. It makes no sense. And you should be last and forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're gonna, like I said, their franchise will never be the same moving forward.
They can go back to where they should.
Go back, to where they were. Yep. Irrelevant. Yep.
They're not a legacy franchise. Let's not do this.
No.
Let's not do this.
No,
Let's not
no.
be sad. We're not going to list
they've had they're not even close to a legacy franchise. They had a nice, again, they had a great stretch again with this past, this past run they had a nice little small stretch with Mike Holmgren. They got to a Super Bowl. Other than that, no. They've had some good players. They've had some great players. Kurt Warner was very good, and Largent, of course, is an all-time great. But no, they're not. We no. To your point, they've never been a legacy franchise. To your point, we've had two stretches where they've been good to very good.
Yeah. I'm about to end this right now. How about this? The last conversation I heard were two Seahawks fans. One of the last conversations I heard before I got on with you, two Seahawks fans. I've talked to you a little bit before this, but they ended it like this. They were talking about, all right, so this is like a breakup. In a breakup, you learn something about what you don't want. And he's asking, so what don't you want in the next quarterback? And both of them agreed they don't want celebrity in their next quarterback. And they longed for the days of Mike Hasselbeck. And that's
really?
That's the guy chimed up and said, see, Jordan Love, coming from there, we get our Matt Hasselbeck. They are getting exactly what they deserve.
100%. 100%.
They long for the Matt Hasselbeck.
Okay, nice. You go. There's plenty of them around.
That's why I'm just like, I don't need to talk about Seattle too much.
No.
They're right where they're supposed to be.
It's plenty of them. There's plenty of Matt Hasselbecks around. They will not have trouble finding them.
Yep. Enjoy your high being 8-8 for a while.
Yes.
Enjoy that.
Enjoy.
Or 8, whatever.
8-9. Yes. Or 7-10.
7-9, whatever it is.
Yep. Enjoy it.
9-7, whatever. Enjoy that being that. Those are your high years.
Yes.
Those are your high years.
Yes. Yeah. So Denver, you keep all your pieces.
God, Denver.
You have now. I mean, last year we know how good their defense was. They had legit top 5 defense.
Yep.
Their offense was so bad last year. They lost 10 games where they gave up like 17 or less points, something like that, 17 or more points. 10 games. That's how bad their offense was.
Real. I remember very vividly when we did that first segment. When you did the first segment, real or not, we both immediately said Denver, not real.
Yes. No.
You could just see it. Their offense wasn't. No, that's not a championship offense. They can't do anything. That worries good teams. It just can't. So keep going. I just remember that so vividly. It was so clear.
To their credit, they did it exactly how you should do it. Okay, we can bring in, and they can bring in like a Teddy Bridgewater, these kind of quarterbacks that didn't really cost a lot of money. When you swing for the fences. Aaron Rodgers, of course, was their first option. Couldn't get him. So now we go into Russell Wilson. You don't trade for Carson Wentz. Talk more about that later.
That was insane.
And you just to me, either you get the guy or you keep adding to your roster and get a cheap veteran quarterback and keep it moving. We're going to see a lot of these teams go draft quarterbacks who we know are going to be a disaster. It's not quarterback class is not strong this year, or sign quarterbacks who we know, or give up assets who we know are not, or who we know no longer can play. Carson
Why'd you bring up Wentz? You know my mind can't move off of Wentz now. Why'd you bring him up? I know.
Let's stay
I know, but I have so much to say about that.
Denver is I mean, they with that defense, and they have a chance to sign. They have a chance to re-sign Von Miller. That's already out there.
Yeah,
they talking about he might go out there. I mean, they have to be considered a legit Super Bowl contender right now.
I'm so disgusted. But this, as the opposing fan base, as the opposing team, this is exactly how you want everybody else to feel. I'm so disgusted.
Great running
I
game.
do not want Russell Wilson on the Broncos. I didn't want Aaron Rodgers on the Broncos. I didn't even contemplate Russell Wilson on the Broncos, to be honest with you. When I contemplate it, I hate what I'm thinking. I hate it. It's a great fit. It's a great fit.
It's a perfect fit.
It's a great fit. I honestly see no downside to this.
No.
They played this perfectly. How they are juggling Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, what a problem to have. What a world to live in when those are your two options of quarterbacks to trade for. Oh my God. And then to give when you're trading for a quarterback at this point in time in his career, everything is about winning Super Bowls immediately.
Yes.
Nothing is about the future. It just isn't. So the big piece, you win if you don't do anything to harm your right now team. You win. Because the addition is the thing to put you over the top. But if you take the actual pieces away that matter from your now team, then that knocks you back down a peg. They pulled it off perfectly. And I legit have no complaints about this.
And to get back,
masterful. As horrible as the other side was, chef's kiss to this side.
To get back to Seattle for a minute, right? So we've seen quarterbacks get moved in their own conference, in their own division with no threat. I saw it with my own team.
Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah, no. I got one even better. I got one even better. How about when Andy Reid let McNabb go to Washington? He's like, "Oh, sure, take him."
We both got him. Yeah,
because Andy Reid knew McNabb was cooked.
Belichick wasn't a threat. Drew Bledsoe was done.
And Drew Bledsoe,
they could beat us like a drum with him all the time. He knew that.
Yes, absolutely, 1,000%. So,
Andy Reid knew.
So here's the thing. My point I say that to say that Seattle trades him out of the conference because they could have got there was a deal where Washington was going to give them 3 first-round picks.
Yeah,
and they could have got 3 first-round picks and at least one of those good defensive players. Maybe not Chase Young, but Montez Sweat, somebody like that.
Also, Wilson no trade clause.
They're like, no, we can't trade him. That's part of it too.
Wilson would have had to waive the no trade.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah, he would have too. But Seattle refused to do anything with an NFC team.
They did.
They know he can still play.
They did.
That makes it that much more insane. They know he can still play.
They know. Yeah, no, they're not crazy. Like just in terms of crazy, in terms of their eyes, they know.
But yeah, Denver, no, perfect fit. That's a team that they have legit weapons on the outside. Sutton and Judy. They have a excellent running game. And now they will have they've clearly drafted well over the past 2 or 3 years, to build this team up. And they have, he brought in Hackett, who, supposed to be is a quarterback coach, worked with Aaron Rodgers. So who Aaron Rodgers liked. So no, it is a excellent, great situation for both Russell Wilson and Nathaniel Hackett. They will undoubtedly have put together a comparable offensive line to help protect him, versus what Seattle was doing for over the last decade. And that team is going to be a major problem. That team, and by the way, that team, he's coming into a culture where that team played even through their record, played hard over the last 2 or 3 years. Even as bad as they were, the team always played hard. So I can't. You give Denver all the credit in the world. This is how you play it. If you're gonna go after a guy, you get the guy. You don't settle. And they got their guy. So yeah, this AFC West, the AFC in general, but that AFC West, when you're talking about Derek Carr being the worst of the quarterbacks, and to me, we talked about this in terms of pressure cooker jobs over like which coaches were under the most pressure. I gotta say, the Los Angeles the Charger coach, he has to be under the most pressure to win this year because I mean, man, you like that job could be. I mean, it just got harder for him. Like it just got harder.
This is a sea change move. This is a sea change move. I said this to you. This is the thing. This is actually the thing that is actually honestly the most important thing. This will ignite an arms race in the AFC because Denver skipped the line.
Yes.
They skipped the line. So now, to your point, San Diego everybody's under way more pressure than they were before. Everybody is. Anybody that had any hopes. Think about it from the Bills' perspective. My expectations for what they need to do in free agency have escalated tremendously off of this move because now the window's shorter. What just occurred to me is like Kansas City's going to be more dangerous because they have to be. They have to be focused. Like you have a direct ultimate threat right there in front of you in your division. You have to be more focused. It's not just Buffalo in the distance now. You have a threat ultimately there, you know. And so anybody that was on the fringe now needs to make a move to put them over, to give them confidence that they can compete. And anybody that was lagging behind, as we've stated in other previous podcasts, the other big domino that's just out there looming is
McCaffrey.
No.
Talking about who?
I'm not talking about this year. Is
Sean Payton.
Yes. And so like that part is like right there. It's interesting that you're interested in McCaffrey. The two free agents we need to come away with, the Buffalo Bills, are now Wagner and Caffrey. Yep. You give me those two, I'm satisfied with our offseason. Yeah. I'm good. Good.
Bobby Wagner, yes.
I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready. I want Wagner.
Bobby Wagner still
McCaffrey. I'll settle for Barkley, but I want McCaffrey and I want Wagner.
Yep.
But that's that. Like now, like I wasn't thinking that before this. I wasn't. Now I am. Of course, Wagner wasn't involved at that point, but that's what this move does. Seattle's now a fire sale. All their players for sale, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So they're a fire sale. And then anybody else that's looking to discard, like all moves are on the table from now until the trade deadline ends mid-season.
Yes.
Next.
Yeah.
This has ignited an arms race in the AFC. Guaranteed. This is a sea change move. This literally tips the balance of power. This everything. This is everything. It is a massive sea change in the NFL.
Yeah, DK Metcalf could be on the move. Yeah, you're gonna see a number. They're gonna see a number of trades. And those teams like Cincinnati, Kansas City, the Chargers, those teams are gonna be like stacked up. Those teams are gonna be stacked. Like those teams are going.
Mind a Tyler Lockett. I wouldn't mind.
Lockett.
I wouldn't mind one of those.
Sure. Yeah. No, they can play. They can still play. Yeah. That Lockett is an excellent player. He's still a very good player.
But on the very real, it's like the patience that when a team makes a move like this, especially at this time of year, when you actually have time and ability to react to that move, it ignites everything. It ignites everybody. Everybody notices this one. Everybody's paying attention to this one. I cannot believe Russell is on the Broncos. I literally can't believe this is happening.
So yeah, so you have so the other big quarterback news, we talked about that actually happened first. Of course, Aaron Rodgers stays with Green Bay.
Wait, really quickly, because you asked me, rank the quarterbacks in the AFC.
rank the quarterbacks in the AFC.
The top.
I still say I still Mahomes 1.
Mhm.
Burrow 2. I got Burrow 2.
Okay.
I'll take your guy 3.
Okay.
Wilson 4.
Okay.
Herbert 5.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson 6.
Yeah.
Yep, that's about right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Real, you just went 6 deep.
Yeah.
When have you ever been able to go 6 deep?
Never.
You went 6 deep
in a conference.
Not wrong at all. I mean, you could quibble with certain placements, but who cares? You went 6 deep. Legitimate Super Bowl contending quarterbacks.
Yes. In a conference.
Makes no sense.
In a conference. Yeah. Yeah, like it, yeah, no, we've never, it's like, no, never, we've never seen anything like this. And this is just,
And you didn't even mention Carr, by the way.
No, I didn't.
You didn't even mention Carr. That's insane. It's just insane. It's insane.
No.
You're right not to mention him in the top 6.
He's not. He's not even close to that group. Not to that group, no. Not even close to that group. Before we get to the Aaron Rodgers, so nothing's of course been set in stone with this, but when you start reading the tea leaves, it sounds like Deshaun Watson, this thing is going to be resolved sooner before later. Like, I'm still like, you still have teams that are just, his name is still in, it's continuously still is in that cycle of, and I like, we talked about this during the season, like there's no way this guy plays quarterback, this year, of course, or probably may never play quarterback again. It seems more and more likely that he's going to be quarterbacking for somebody next year.
Here's where I remain consistent with the things that were tied to him. Never ever. Now, if those things go away, that's a different conversation that we're having. Here's where I stand with that. If all those go away, if all those things go away, it is because he is returning to Houston. The only place he plays quarterback is Houston. The only people can make it go away are the people in Houston. We did the conspiracy theory podcast and everything like that. So you know what I believe happened in that. And so if it goes away, my opinion is it only goes away because he's going to play quarterback in Houston. I believe this started because he wanted to leave Houston, and it will go away when he agrees to stay in Houston. That is my stance. I think those other places that you're talking about, I hear those names are coming from fans and people speculating. That is not coming from any serious NFL people.
Yeah, we'll see. I think.
Yeah. Will continue to be fascinating.
Yeah, because his name is staying in the headlines. Like, it's there, it's looming. Aaron Rodgers. So I don't think I certainly was not shocked or surprised by this. The bottom line is this, and from both sides are better off with this move. If you're Aaron Rodgers, not only do you get your money despite the shit that he's talking, and typical Aaron Rodgers to try to be like, I didn't sign anything, and these numbers, like, Aaron, we know you got your money.
I'm officially over Aaron Rodgers. I'm officially over him.
We know you got your money.
Good, you're in Green Bay, and you can lose an NFC Championship in the next 4 years.
I mean, it made perfect sense for both parties. Like, Aaron Rodgers going to the AFC. To your point, if he goes to Denver, Green Bay certainly would have took not only 2 or 3 draft picks, but they're taking Bradley Chubb and some other pieces. So the team is just not going to be as good. The team wouldn't be as good with him as it would as this current team with Wilson, because they kept all their pieces.
And Aaron Rodgers legit wants all the money. He
And
legit.
Aaron Rodgers is going to, but was going to get legitimately all the money. So
Oh,
you're Aaron Rodgers. You are clearly the best player, the best quarterback in your conference, and you have a loaded team. They franchise Devontae Adams. They have a chance now. They'll go out and probably, and if from all reports, they're going to go out and try to go after some a free agent or somebody like that, or somebody even going over the salary cap, and it's like whatever with the salary cap right now in terms of that, they'll just pay later from that standpoint, and rightfully so. You have Aaron Rodgers, you got to go for it, you got to try to win now. So it made too much sense for both parties for him not to remain a Packer from that standpoint. So all the talking and posturing and bitching and moaning and this and that, the third, both parties in Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay franchise used their common sense and was like, okay, let's just run this back.
I have one last thing.
Go ahead.
I have one last thing. All right. So if you're Green Bay, this is what you need to be thinking now that this is all said and done. Before Jordan Love, this all started because Aaron Rodgers' butt hurt over Jordan Love, right?
Yes.
Like this all starts.
The Jordan Love thing is a failure. We can kind of
No, not even talk about Jordan. Here's what I'm saying. This has nothing to do with drafting. Right. Before that, was Aaron Rodgers playing at MVP level?
Before LaFleur?
Did he win MVPs directly before that? Is my question.
No, he did not.
Has he won back-to-back MVPs since this has happened?
Yep.
Which Aaron Rodgers are you getting? Now that he's comfortable again, there's no threat at all. He's gotten everything he wants. He has all the money, everything. What Aaron Rodgers are you getting?
That's
what that's what you just gotta wonder. If you agree,
no, I mean you always
gotta wonder.
Listen, here's the thing.
Yeah, you was upset we brought in competition, but you played better because that competition.
So a couple things about that. Those years where he was not winning MVPs, like I think the team is much better than what they were then. To be honest with you, I think that I think LaFleur has done a tremendous job. Whether Aaron Rodgers wants to give him credit or not, in terms of just like tailoring the offense.
That's part of the problem.
And really. What have you?
This is all about Aaron Rodgers. I don't give a damn about anybody else. Aaron Rodgers has identified that I needed to show the team that they shouldn't have even thought about drafting another quarterback.
Right.
That was motivation. He's on record saying those things.
Yes.
This is about him. So that was your motivating factor. Now that's gone. What's motivating him now?
I would think his legacy in terms of winning.
You can think that. Does legacy mean he's playing at MVP level? Does legacy means because even at MVP level,
I think even at
MVP level, he hasn't been able to get to the Super Bowl.
No,
so what's the next level?
He's such a narcissist that I don't see him. I don't see his play slipping because of him relaxing, because he does not want to go out there and be 30 go out there and stick up the
never throw double digit.
Yeah, I don't see his play. I don't see his play slipping because
he'd rather die, bro. Yeah. Double-digit interception. That will never happen.
But I get what your point is. Like, what is the what is?
I'm not saying either. I just wonder. Wonder. Now that he had, it's the same. It's on a macro level, but on a micro level, it's the guy that's playing for his contract, right? The big contract,
right?
And he wants to get the big contract. You just wonder.
Yep.
Sometimes they rise above ultimate. Absolutely. It's great. They're earning the money, everything they deserve. My wonder with Aaron Rodgers in this entire thing is he believes he's already earned that money.
Right.
So now that he has it and he's already earned it, what else is there to see? I just wonder. I would love to see a Aaron Rodgers that is just focused on winning a Super Bowl for real. All I want to do is win a chip. I would love to see that Aaron Rodgers. I just don't know if I'm going to get it.
Let me ask you, here's the better question, right? Because a guy like Aaron Rodgers, like a narcissist, they're never satisfied. So to me, even a more entertaining,
something else.
Even a more what more does he what does he find to complain about now? What's the next thing that he tweets or says something slick about the word? What does he complain about next? Because you know it's going to happen. He's going to say something.
I got your answer. Not enough talent around me.
Do you play that card? You think after we
yeah, oh yeah, you can play that card. Not this coming year, but I can see it the year after that or the year after that. Especially 2 years from now. I know that's going to come. I know it's coming. That's coming. That's coming. Yeah. That's the only other thing to complain about.
Yep.
He'll never put it on himself.
No.
He's boys with Javon Walker, never ever, right? He loves the coach because the coach gives him everything he wants.
Yep.
So it's not going to be on any of them. So it's going to be on me. Him and management. It's always going to be about management.
I want to get back to Jordan Love because, when we've trashed Aaron Rodgers, and rightfully so, and all the abuse Aaron Rodgers has taken from us is deservedly for the type of shit that he did this year and his play again that San Francisco game. But the Green Bay management, I mean, could you my goodness, the one thing Aaron Rodgers was right about was the fact that this is who you took instead of adding another weapon to a team to trying to win a Super Bowl. I mean, Jordan, because if Green Bay was 80% right about Jordan Love, they could have got a boatload of capital and picks and players for Aaron Rodgers, and then you just slide Jordan Love in. They missed Jordan Love by a country mile. Jordan Love, it was no Aaron Rodgers was 1,000% right about that. This is who you take. This is who you took.
Here's the lesson franchises need to now.
Yes, please.
With the New England situation and with this situation, when you have a Hall of Fame GOAT level quarterback, you better be sure he's slipping when you're ready to let him go. If you for whatever reason, and I think he retires that franchise. I'm not with this trade my great quarterback at the end of their career. But if you're going to do that, make sure he's slipping. Make sure it's his time before you do it, because they really don't appreciate that. They really don't appreciate you selecting the next guy while they're still on that team. They really don't like it.
Or it has to be a situation where the guy, he's slipping, or in the case of what happened with,
No, that's why I said your Peyton Manning one is.
Yeah, that was easy. No, I wasn't even bring that up. The one I was going to bring up was
health concerns.
The one I was going to bring up.
The next guy was right there. You could identify. You could go look.
The help,
the next guy, him.
But so no, the one I was going to bring up.
Oh yeah, he's great. Yep, that makes sense to us.
The one I was going to bring up was the one, and I remember this because they played in our conference, and I was into the quarterbacks. The Montana Young, Montana was physically breaking down, and Steve Young was the best backup in football, and it was an easy transition. Even though some of the 49ers fans didn't like it, we knew Steve Young could play, number one, and Joe Montana was getting old and was physically breaking down, the back and the whole nine. That was, a lot of 49ers for sentimental reasons didn't like that, but it was in essence the right move to make, and it turned out they won another Super Bowl and were very good, after that.
I was going to say that feels a little bit revisionist. I remember that being a very painful process.
Yeah, no, it was painful. It was painful because
it's not clear cut. It was not clear cut.
No, Young.
Because Young was not a die. He got traded from Tampa Bay. Don't do that. He did. That's what I'm saying. Revisionist. Don't do that. Young was not a lock solid. He was guaranteed the best. You're absolutely right. Joe Montana was breaking down. Which to your point, it wasn't a lot. It was obvious. Montana was breaking down.
I didn't think at the time Steve Young was going to be this next Hall of Fame, that he was going to be as good as he turned out to be. My point was
it was obvious that Montana was breaking down.
That move to me,
That's the one you can let go. Absolutely.
Yes, you can let that go. That wasn't a situation where they're pushing the in his prime MVP quarterback out the door. No.
That was not Montana at that point in time.
Not that version of Montana. No. So yeah, again, if you have a guy that is still at the top of his game, do everything.
I need to see Peyton Manning.
Yes, I need to fall off a cliff. Yes.
Then I'm ready to say goodbye. But before that, I'm not ready to say goodbye.
No.
Nope.
And he needs to fall off. I need to see Ben Roethlisberger like last 2 years.
Yeah.
That's what I need to see.
It's time. It's just time. When we all know it's time, that's great. It's perfect.
Right. Like we watched football for forever. We know. We knew when Dan Marino was done, he was done. We knew that. We know that.
They know.
They know. Yes.
Perfect. They know it. We know it. Everybody go rise off in the sunset.
Yeah. AFC West, is this the greatest collection of quarterback talent ever in a division?
So this is an extremely hot take. This is extremely hot take.
That was the point.
But I'm looking at these pictures. We have 2 solidified Hall of Famers.
Yes, already.
Like I'm just looking at right now.
Yeah.
And I love Herbert. I love Herbert.
Yeah.
And the weakest link is Carr. If this ain't the best, it's close. This one's close. We just gotta see a little bit. Like hot take is yes. The hot take is yes. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything like this. I truly can't. So that's kind of like a hot take. I'm sure I'm probably not thinking deeply enough in the 80s, but whatever. This is a hot take. So yeah, if I'm being a little bit more measured, I need to see a little bit more from Herbert. But if Herbert ascends how I think he's going to ascend, and Derek Carr is a professional QB.
Very good player.
He's a very good professional QB. I have no problems with Carr, and you put talent around him, what he can do. At all. He is a professional QB. There's nothing easy. There are no easy landing spots. This is an all-out fist fight. And what you ultimately want is for these guys to stay healthy the entire year and just battle, just go to war. Because the AFC West is must-see television at this point in time. Must see. And that's not even counting their out-of-division games, but just watching them play each other. You got to see. Yes, Ril. I leave this off because I know you have a lot.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, all right. So the thing that popped in my head first was Washington looked at what was going on in Seattle and said, "Oh, we can do something crazier. We got crazy that."
Well, it doesn't out crazy Seattle. Like that's
well, here, let me lead off, and then you can say what you want to say. Hopefully, this does help you defend. I would love to see you make a defense of this. I love you, Wentz to Washington. I like the alliteration, but you do need to put Commanders because you need to own that name now.
I told you about that. Name.
Nope. You need to own the team. Wentz to Washington Commanders. Just add Commanders to there. So literally, this is how I break this down, bro. This is how I break this down. Nobody wanted Wentz. That's number one.
No.
Nobody asked for Wentz. Nobody. So that's number one. Number two is, in all likelihood, the Colts were going to cut him. Let's be real.
Yep.
In all likelihood, they won't cut him. So that's number two. Number three is Wentz isn't coming off that fake MVP season even. He's coming off a season that even the fans of the team are like, why? Why is this guy our quarterback? Why is this happening? He's holding us back. That's number three. Number four, he did that average, completely average at best season with a dominant running game. That's 4. Number 5 is y'all gave up assets. I actually don't even care what the assets are. The fact that it's 2 third-rounders is insane to me. Is absolutely insane because you didn't have to give up the assets. And last but not least, this is the clincher. You guys are going to pay all that money. Enjoy. Just enjoy. Just enjoy. Go ahead.
He's going to make $28
Please
million.
tell me how any part of this is sane. Please.
He's going to make $28 million, to your point.
Yeah.
So this was classic Washington Commander.
This is classic.
Classic, because what happened?
It's not even Washington. It's one man. You know, this was just one man. Because somebody just had to say, "Please don't do this, Snyder."
Yeah,
please.
But we know who. I mean, of course, we know who it was. Listen. We
Snyder's like, "Oh, I know how to make these headlines about me go away.
Yep.
This horrible name go away. I know.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the old playbook."
So you get a guy like you, to a point, who's coming off a bad season. He was bad this year. That the roster that he left was a legit Super Bowl roster. Okay, on both sides of the field. Darius Leonard is one of the best defensive players in the league.
They have one of the best. He lost that playoff game. Let's trade for this guy.
They won. 100% had one of the best opposite lines in the league. So that team should have been in the playoffs, first of all. Like without question. Like you said, he was the reason why he didn't make the playoffs. Indianapolis has a boatload of talent. So let me get this straight. You bring a guy to your franchise who couldn't get a team to the playoffs, right, with a boatload of talent, to your franchise, which doesn't have as much. Doesn't have as much talent as Indianapolis has, and you expect him to do what? Like what? Now again, they're gonna go out. They have a ton of money, ton of salary cap space. They're gonna go out and make these dumb, try to sign a bunch of free agents and what have you. Sure. Oh, yeah, exactly. Sure. Good luck with that. But this is like to the point. This is trying to win. This is a owner who's again trying to win the headlines. This is a pure headline move. This is like Jerry Jones 4 or 5 years ago. They've gotten a little better. He's gotten better. He's listened to Steven and some of the other people. They've gotten better with drafting and development lately, because they have drafted much better. But you just want to be in the headlines. It's like you just want to be in the headlines. There's no making sense of this move. 0 sense. I don't even want to hear that. Yeah, well, he's better than Heineke. Is he? Yeah,
that's because I'm like,
that's a legit question.
It feels like let's bring in a less good Heineke.
Yeah, like I'm not sure he's even better than Heineke. It's a debate. It's certainly a debate.
Yeah, you gotta really sell me on that one.
It's a debate.
I don't know how he's better than Heineke, to be honest with
you. Yeah, I can't argue that. I can't, based on I can't argue that,
because guess what? The past can't play right now. So this wins. This current wins. The one that played. That one.
He's done. The guy is done.
This guy?
Yeah, no, this guy is done.
Less mobile. Won't fight for any play at all.
Turnover
waiting for interceptions. This guy's better.
Yeah, turnover waiting to happen. And again, we began the podcast talking about a dysfunctional franchise. This was happens in dysfunction.
Yeah,
this what happens in dysfunction. You get a psychopath. You get a psychopath for an owner who used to do his own draft. Had his own draft boards. He might still have them. I'm sure he still has them. His own draft boards. With a head coach who has, in essence, all the power. Like Ron Rivera reports to Daniel Snyder.
Same thing with Carroll.
Yes. In essence, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and basically, yes. Carroll,
he has all the power.
Yeah, has all the power.
To your point in that original, that's all Carroll.
Yes. No,
I don't care.
100%. No, 100%. Um, you need a general manager or a president of football operations to be like, no, Ron, we're not. No, we're not doing this. We're not. This guy is cooked. Even if we have to get somebody like somebody off the scratch, like I don't care. I don't care who it was. Jameis Winston, 1 year deal. I don't care. It's a cheap veteran quarterback for a 1 year deal. I'm not taking. I'm not trading. I'm not giving up assets for this dude.
Real.
You can draft good.
Here's the
Like
simple-
to your point about the third round picks, you can get good players in the third round. Like
Yes.
that's
This
not
is
like
not the NBA. I hate these
no.
analysis of like, oh, a 27. Some people are knocking a 27 pick in the first. Are you crazy?
Yes,
That's a first round
that's a
pick.
first round pick.
What is happening? What is
Yeah.
it? No, you don't just throw away third round picks.
No.
You
No.
get good starters for the third round.
Yes, you can find good players in the third round.
As a matter of fact.
And by the way, if he plays, this is where if he plays 70% of the snaps, it turns into a second round next year. So
good teams don't throw away any picks, but if you're gonna start talking about throwaway picks, talk to me in the 7th round.
Right. That's yes. 6th or 7th round. Yes.
7th round.
Yes. Yeah.
Talk to me then, but
yeah.
no, you're
But
not throwing
the first round. The first 4 rounds, no. Those you can get good players. You should. Matter of fact, if you're a competent organization, you should be able to get good players.
You have to
in the first 4 rounds. You got like I mean, look what the Rams have done over the last 4 or 5 years. They've had to hit in those middle to late rounds. But no, this move makes 0 sense. I like when I saw it, I was hoping that it was that ESPN it was a typo or something. But when it came on
fake news,
the headline, it was like
anybody, fake news.
Please, fake news. But not surprising whatsoever. They were in like every quarterback conversation, like Rodgers, Wilson. They were going to get a quarterback. It didn't matter who it was. They just were determined to get a quarterback. It's like going out and buying a car. It could be the worst deal in the world. I'm going to buy a car. I don't care what. I don't care if the gas miles is terrible. I don't care if the previous owner said that the car might only have 1-2 good years. I'm buying a car. I'm buying this used car. So it's kind of like that deal where you're so determined to purchase something, to get something, you just lose logical or rational thought and lose complete patience. Like I told you earlier in the podcast, if you cannot nail the Russell Wilson or another franchise caliber quarterback, your best bet is to continuously build up your rest of your franchise, build up just acquire assets, get better players and go from there. So when that quarterback does come up, you're ready to win right away. That is your best bet. Don't go chasing a quarterback. It does not work. I've seen teams just draft, and you're gonna see it this year. You're gonna see it this year. Teams draft the quarterback and try to convince themselves, oh, this guy's gonna be good. This guy's gonna be good. No, this is not a year to draft a quarterback for the sake of drafting a quarterback, especially in the first round. Like you're gonna see a bunch of these guys. You're gonna see about four guys go who go in the first round, who probably should be second, third, or fourth round picks.
You said thighs, man. I got a team that just popped into my head. That's even better than that. That's an even better comparison than that. Who's been chasing quarterbacks forever? Ask the Vikings how that's going.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Yes.
Ask them how that's been going. They've been chasing since Tarkenton.
Yes, since Tarkenton. Yes, literally since Tarkenton. Yes, forever. They've been chasing quarterbacks forever.
Just chasing them. Anything.
Yes.
Scrap people. 1 year wonder. Whatever. Any quarterback out there. Kirk Cousins, sure, we'll pay you everything in the world. Why not?
to go 9-7 in a good year.
Exactly.
Or at best a first round playoff exit. Yeah, sure.
This is your life, Seattle Seahawks fans.
Seattle, get used to it. This is the conversations you're gonna have.
Yep.
And I'm sure, again, I know there's some Washington fans talking themselves in the West. Oh yeah, well, he did almost win MVP 5 years ago.
I really hope
I know this.
I really hope they're not.
They are. I'm sure.
Not talk themselves into this. This is not a good move. This is not a good move. accept the reality on this one is the best way to go. You will cause yourself so much undue pain. Don't get behind this move. Don't do it. Don't do it. I know you hate Philadelphia. Just call a Philly fan. Just ask them.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Not pleasant. It's not a pleasant experience.
No, they know.
Yep, this is not a pleasant experience with Wentz. Don't do this.
We were talking about how dire the quarterback situation is. It's kind of like it's to a point now with the NFL. There's really no in between. It's either the have or the have-nots in terms of the quarterback situation. Like when you hear that the Giants are targeting Mitch Trubisky, it's like, what?
What is going on in the NFC East, Ril? What is happening? Y'all have collectively lost your effing minds. Like, collectively. I'm just like, what is happening? Yeah. Look, Giants fans, I cannot warn you enough. I'm telling you, he's not ready to be a head coach. So I'm telling you that, Warren. I literally can't get these words out of my mouth. He is courting Mitchell Trubisky.
Yes.
What has happened? Wentz is being traded to the Commanders. The Giants are courting Trubisky. The NFC East has lost its mind.
Yeah.
The Eagles hurts, sure, things are happening over there. Sure. I think that's more to do with the NFC than anything else, but still, even that situation is weird. The only one we can talk about is one you don't want to talk about. So the NFC East has lost their minds. Please explain what's going on there. Please.
I mean,
the AFC West says yes to quarterbacks. The NFC East collectively just said, nah, we don't want to do that. We don't want to go that direction.
I just
good Hall of Fame quarterback play. Nah, we're good. We like Trubisky and Wentz.
I just thought about something.
Those are guys.
With the
Denver's mulling Rodgers and Wilson. The Giants want Mitchell Trubisky.
Look at the balance of power in the NFL right now, right? With all these moves, okay? It is very reminiscent of where the NBA was, say, 3 or 4 years ago with the Western Conference versus the Eastern Conference. It really is. Like, the AFC is the Western Conference.
Yep.
And you got a couple good teams in the East in the AFC. And it's like I mean, it's really remarkable. Like I said, this bounce back. We've never seen anything like this. Now, ironically, the NBA, the East is better this year, which is made for an exciting NBA season. But for a part, especially in the Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan era, Shaq era, the West was just loaded, and you knew the champion was coming out the NBA West. It was just a matter of Chris Webb, Sacramento when they had them good teams. It very much feels like that in the AFC with the AFC versus the NFC right now, and it's like I wonder, like you could see a situation where like these free agents, like it's gonna be very interesting. Again, guys are gonna chase the money, but there's also going to be a number of guys who are just going to try to, who are going to just be who want to play for good quarterbacks. Like that, I mean, most players, like you heard Darius Leonard tweeted, like, here we go again, once they traded, when they got rid of Carson Wentz, because Indianapolis has been just a shit show since Andrew Luck retired, and which they're the main reason why, not being able to protect them.
No, they got exactly
so
what they do.
They're getting what they deserve, but you're going to see a lot of players gravitate to these quarterback rich rosters. It's going to be. I mean, the balance of power again clearly is in the AFC. Like, what are your thoughts on that moving forward? Can we realistically can we see a situation now? We're never going to see a situation where when we were growing up to where the NFC wins like
no, the shift of talent is too
Super Bowls.
Yeah, the shift of talent happens too frequently for it to congeal that that concretely like it did in the NFC, but I can definitely this indicates a significant run. This indicates a significant run. If you look at the Peyton Manning, Roethlisberger, Brady era, those guys were in the Super Bowl every one of those three was winning the Super Bowl every year.
Yep.
If the ascension happens like we think it's going to happen in the AFC, the Rams this year pop in, Brady, a move like Brady, but like that will interrupt things every once in a while. But we're looking at 10, 15, 20 years of sheer dominance of quarterback play in the AFC. Definite 10. So I could see 8-2, 7-3 easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Without breaking a sweat in who wins those 7 or the 3. Easily, I can see that. And then you extrapolate out on somebody like a Burrow, or a Herbert. This is unprecedented. It really is. It's unprecedented. So I can definitely, like, immediately when you start talking, I thought about that NFC run. And I think at least the way things look right now, it doesn't look I started it off. I feel very confident that the AFC is going to not only win the Super Bowl this year, but stop whoever comes out of NFC. Because of, I remember that run, the competition. Somebody made a really good point on the air. I was watching last night, trying to catch up on the trade, and they were like, well, Russell doesn't see it as going to a division of where he's going to be at a deficit competition-wise, talent-wise, whatever. He sees it as, I will go to a division and be a great division and be the best. And that is what has always been, the West comparison is another one, that athletes don't shy away from that. They are actually very attracted to more competition, right? Like, that's how they are great. They're attracted to that. And so I say that to say, you would think talent congealing in one conference would actually help to even it out, but it actually doesn't. People want to go to where the talent is, whether it's facing them or on the same team as them. And so, again, that just only says we're looking at a significant run of dominance in the AFC. We really are. If quarterback play is as valuable as we think it is, and as it's proven to be, then I don't see how you can make another argument. I really don't. These other coaches that want to turn back the clock, run the game, good defense, that'll get you one chip in an off year, in a dominant defense. It'll get you one. It will, but not much, not more than that. So, again, you might interrupt a spurt, but yeah, 8-2 feels really good to me right now. It really does. It really does.
What
that's not counting Kansas City's champion. That's not counting that. I'm talking about from this moment on. I see 8-2 easy.
Where does Garoppolo end up?
Great question.
Can you see somebody like Pittsburgh?
That's who Washington should have went after.
I wanted Garoppolo. I actually wanted.
I don't understand why Wentz is off the board before Garoppolo.
That's. I mean,
this is very confusing.
That's insane.
This is very confusing to me.
Yeah.
So I think honestly, I think Seattle is in play.
Right.
For like Garoppolo, because I think they do want to get back on that horse sooner than not. But if you would have asked me before that who I thought Garoppolo was going to go to, I would have said the loser out of the Rodgers kind of sweepstakes. And so that would have been Denver, but now Denver has Russell Wilson. So that's what leads me back to Seattle. But we're in in lieu of that, I could see a world where Garoppolo is in New England. I'm going to be real with you on that.
Are you serious? As a starter?
I'm dead. I'm dead serious.
No. I
Okay.
don't see it.
Okay.
No.
All right. Who saw Russell Wilson on the Broncos? That's all I'm saying.
I mean, no.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
As a starter?
I'm just saying. In the last day, crazier things have happened.
Yeah, true. I don't see that, but true. Crazier things have happened.
Honestly, like if you like for real, like all honesty, I don't understand why the Giants are going after Trubisky. That'd be very
because they're the Giants. That's why.
Well, I could see Garoppolo fitting really, really. No, I'm not going to do that. I was going to say Chicago, but I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that to Garoppolo.
What about Cleveland?
There,
they still
fine. I think Garoppolo. The place that I think makes sense, like for real makes sense, because Garoppolo stated he wants championships is Pittsburgh.
Yep.
That's the place I think for real makes sense.
Yep. Couldn't let you go without a NBA.
Yep, let's go. I'm
here for it. Question.
It's an emergency podcast. I'm here for it.
What were your thoughts over the last couple of days about the Westbrook saga?
All right, what are we talking about specifically now?
Well, you know,
I'm trying to remember.
He's talking about his name being shamed.
Okay.
His wife tweeting, his brother tweeting, trying to battle the internet.
Yep. Here's my thoughts. This is going to get ugly, and this is exactly where this was heading. When they didn't trade Russell Westbrook, this is exactly where this is heading. We know Westbrook. He has way too much pride to admit this is a bad choice on every front. Bad choice. When you text me about them or were joking about them before, that was when the crowd was booing him in that game. So that's the last one that I was really like, when I was really paying attention at the moment it was going on. I read about these different things as that. This is just going to get ugly, Rel. It's just going to be ugly. This is just ugly. And this is one where nothing makes sense, so you got to go to ego. This is LeBron's ego. This is Westbrook's ego. This is whoever else's ego is in this, because this is so obviously a mistake, and it should have just ended. It just should have ended. Let's everybody just admit it's a mistake and go. But if not, it's going to get ugly. the LA market is not going to back down, and Westbrook's not going to back down. This is buckle your seatbelts. You all will not be in the playoffs, but you will be in the news.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Yep.
That's where I see this ending.
Yeah.
This was bad. I think you said least fun season. This was bad. This was bad.
I was thinking about this recently. Considering expectations, considering even the talent level, I would say that this has been the worst Lakers season.
Yeah.
Like I because they've had worse records, but those teams were bad. Like the last, the before the 3 years, Kobe's last 3 years, those were, and he was hurt, injured. Those were god awful teams. You're talking about like Nick Young and Tariq Black and just guys that shouldn't, like old Luau Deng and Timothy Mazda. Those teams were horrible. I remember the 1 year after Magic retired. Even matter of fact, even that year after Magic retired, they made the playoffs. The year he coached them for like 20 games. That was bad. That was bad.
That was bad, but it's kind of reminiscent.
But it never got this low though.
But here's the commonality. I'm glad you brought that up. I hadn't thought about this until you brought that up. But the commonality of it is, the fans want to love Westbrook. They wanted Magic success. They wanted it desperately, but the results were just so bad. And because they were so beloved, Westbrook's LA boy, like hometown love, it hurts the more on both sides, right? So there's not even there's no like, oh, he like even when a player on your team, when they start, when we all get a player on a team who's just playing like trash, it's just like, oh, you're the worst, get out of here. You don't have any emotional attachment to that reaction. Now you've deemed him the worst. It's just like, get away from me, right? But in both of those situations, it's just like, we love the other parts of you so much, it doesn't even feel good to be like, get away from me. So in the situation you just brought up now, I found commonality because they were both LA icons, even different for different reasons, but because Westbrook was so expressive of his love and want to be in that city. And honestly, that's what fan bases want more than anything. They want the players to love them. They want the players to want to be there because it's their city, right? And so that endeared the fan, that even though it looked wrong from jump, the pieces, that endeared the fans, that endeared Westbrook to the fans. And so it's that much more painful to boo him, but he's playing so badly, you have to boo him. And he's reacting so poorly to the boos. It's just a runaway cycle. It can't stop itself.
Here's the thing about Westbrook, that you come to find out that you may not have known even going into this season per se. He's just not built for a major market team, LA, New York, Chicago. And he's just not built for a team that is trying to win a championship. Just like Westbrook at this stage of his career needs to be on a team with zero expectations, or on a team like the Wizards. Wizards were a perfect situation for Westbrook. No one in DC cares about basketball like that. It's a football town. I've been to Wizards games. You've been to Wizards games. Half the time, the opposing team has about.
It's not. There's no comparison. There's just no comparison.
Right.
There just isn't. There isn't.
So there are no expectations for the Wizards. Right. Like even the years that we're making the playoffs, it's like, oh,
when you're going to a Wizards game, you're going there to kind of like
to see other players. You're going there to see the opposing team's players.
And honestly, you're going there to have conversations with people. You're
it's a social gathering.
It's a night out. Yes.
Right. It's a social gathering. Yes.
When you go to a Commanders game or an old school football team, seems like your games are ridiculous. When you go to those games, Washington, I guess, this is why you just settle on Washington, because the others are just ridiculous to say. When you go to a Washington game, you're there to cheer the team, period. There is no anything else. You're there to watch the game, cheer the team, yell, be angry, all the emotions, but it's all focused on the game. That's not the experience at the Wizards game. It just isn't. It just isn't.
So
anybody that says different is lying.
No, or they've never been to a game.
Exactly.
So that's the place that he needs. That's a spot that he needs to be at. No expectations. No pressure. Just like he said in that press conference, I had no expectations. People thought that he was being an asshole, which he kind of was, but that's really how he thinks. Like he's not worried about championship expectations. He's just out there playing, and he's got, he's made a ton of money. He's gonna do Russ, be who he is despite anything, and keep it moving. Like he does not, like when he said I had no expectations, that was some real talk. That wasn't just tongue-in-cheek shit that just talking shit. That really is that's really his mindset. Yeah, I had no expectations. Yeah. So it makes sense how you're playing, like you play like there's no expectations. That's how you play. So yeah, I've never, as a Laker fan of all my life, I've never seen no turn on a player this viscerally. LA they're passionate about their Lakers. They love their Lakers. We all know this. But even like I said, even years where the team was bad, they didn't turn on players like this. They didn't, like, even on the team, they didn't turn on them. They just didn't. Like they literally hate this dude, yo. With a passion, they hate this dude. And by the way,
it's just bad.
It's a toxic. by the way,
the word is toxic.
Toxic, yes, it's a toxic situation, and you are not as a professional athlete. Like it's kind of like an educator trying to out kid a kid. You're not a kid. You try to load. You try to go. If you try to go tit for tat for a kid, you're gonna get embarrassed and gonna look crazy. You're not going to win a battle.
No, you look crazy.
Yes, exactly. You're not going to win it. You are not going to win a battle against social media. It's not going to happen. Like I felt bad for his wife when she's making all these thoughtful points, and we gotta come together. Like, yo, this is not a debate. This is not a debate. You can make the best points. Social media does not give a shit. They're gonna say some ignorant shit, like your husband's a bum and some shit that you just don't like. You're not like, you can't. there's no talking social media off the ledge. It's just not. That's just not the world. That's just not what social media is. So when I read the tweets, I read the Instagram posts, I'm like, she's making she's making some good points. Like, yeah, it sounds good. We all need to come together, and we don't need to shame each other, and we need to love each other, stuff like that. It sounds great, but that's not social media in 2022. And I don't understand. Like, again, it's and this is, I want to ask you this question about just celebrity in general, but people cannot stay off social media. They just can't. They can't. It's like it is become it's like a drug per se. It's a drug.
I think they're actually looking at like different diagnoses that are like actually in the medical book of different diagnoses related to all these types of different things. But the way it plays out in real life, and we can all think about people in our lives, or maybe we're the people that it's just impossible for them to stay off social media.
Yes.
It feels a lot like not even, I won't even go drugs or alcohol or anything, like gambling addiction, something like that. Like
the reason I say drug per se, I say it from a standpoint of the addiction, it's like attention. It's like attention is the new drug per se.
It's any addiction, but yes, drugs is a good one.
Because I was going to ask you this in regards to it, and we can end on this. So Deion Sanders, right, the coach of Jacksonville State, who of course coaches Jacksonville State now, had two toes amputated, right? Hopefully, he's doing well, right? Hopefully he's doing well, recovering. Has done an excellent job at Jackson State and really getting some good players and really doing tremendous work down there with that program and the attention that he's garnered. But he posts a picture of himself in the hospital with the amputated toe. They blocked out the toe basically right after surgery. And I'm like, and I'm saying to myself, I'm like, okay, it's one thing if you tweet, hey, just recovered, prayers up, keep your boy in prayer, so on, so on. Cool if you tweet that. But I'm like, brother, you gonna actually post a picture of yourself in the hospital in the operating room? I'm like that. I'm like, you're that addicted to the attention, like in a time where you had to be in some pain. I'm like, why? what are we doing? I mean, that is a literal addiction to attention.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a picture. I was taken back by it. But that's who Deion Sanders is. Like, Deion Sanders has always been, spotlight, But getting back to the Westbrook thing, yeah, I just wish they just send them home for the rest of the season. To be honest with you, I just don't see how this ends well as far as his play on the court, the relationship with the team, with the fans. I like, the best thing for dude, let's just let everybody just cut their losses. We send you home, you move on to another team. We try to trade you in the offseason. We're better on the floor without you. That to me would be clearly the best course of action. Like to your point,
would have to admit that he was wrong.
Yes. Yep.
When something doesn't make sense, ego.
Yep.
Everything he said made perfect sense. It made perfect sense to trade him. They tried
to trade. They tried to trade him. They couldn't. Like I'm talking about in terms of just buying him out and sending him home and just saying like, we went out this relationship.
They tried to trade him real, but did they try to trade him? Like, let's keep this all real.
There was no market for Russell. Yeah, no. So like they want. So the deal allegedly on they could have moved him, but they didn't want to give up a first round pick in 2027, which
is insane. Doesn't make any sense. Like
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't. I would keep. I don't. No. I wouldn't give up a 20. I wouldn't give up a first round pick, especially. No, I'm not. That's not gonna make my team better. I'm not giving. I'm not giving up a pick. For John Wall.
So real. I get it. So here's the thing. This is what's going on in the. You open up something. This is what's going on in the world. You want something to happen, but you don't want it to be painless. It doesn't work like that.
Right. No, it doesn't.
So the thing that made the most sense was to never bring Westbrook here in the first place. Once you did do it, you have to everything from that point, every pain point is going to cost you something. Yep. You have to decide, what do you want to risk? What are you gonna what is the cost? So right now you're saying buy out and send him home and then just shut this entire season down. Honestly.
Yes.
Give up. Yep. That hurts. And so if that's the option, I think that's the best option now. Do I think that's what your squad would choose? Absolutely not.
No.
So all you have to look forward is more pain. This is just going to be painful. It's just that.
No, it's all
there's some things you do you can't take back. This is one of them.
God was one.
Can't take this back.
No,
you just can't.
You can't. No.
You got to eat every single solitary second of this season.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about. Think about this, right? With Westbrook, right? You're talking about a player who is your highest paid player,
right?
So he's your highest paid player. You traded picks and all types of assets to get him, and he is a liability right now. So that, you got to eat that. Like that's to your point. That's painful. So a guy who's your highest paid player, who was supposed to be a part of this quote unquote big three, is a liability.
Yep.
So yeah.
To your point in our last NBA discussion, Harden Simmons, this debacle is the official end of the big three era.
Yes.
This thing is done and over with.
Yeah.
It is done. This is the way it is. This is the way all empires fall. Yep. When it falls hard, ideas fall. This fell hard. It started with LeBron. It ends with him.
Yeah, it only makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
It's poetic in a way.
It is. No, it is.
The end is rough. It's rough. This is rough.
It is.
Even as somebody that can't stand the Lakers, I'm just like, ow, this is painful. Like I'm like, okay, enough already. They suffered enough. They suffered. I'm throwing the towel. Okay. All right. This is getting bad. This is just painful. Now I'm just like, ow.
Yeah.
Everybody just go lay down. Everybody take a nap. Just get away from each other. This is toxic. This is not good. It's not healthy for anybody. No. Not the fans, not the players, nobody. Nobody's getting better from this situation.
Let me ask you.
Does not like that, enjoys your pain immensely. And even I'm like, this is enough. This is enough. It's kind of like somebody told me this when Putin initially launched the invasion, even the Taliban came out denouncing it. So you know
That's
you've done
bad. Yeah,
something
that's
wrong
bad. Yeah.
when the Taliban goes too far.
It's-
You know y'all in a bad space when you know a quasi Celtics fan and a lifelong Lakers hater goes, okay, enough. They suffered enough. They have. They truly have. They truly have. We can call this season now. I've had enough. I'm filled. I'm full on your pain. I'm full on your anguish. I'm good. Y'all can stop.
Let me ask you one last thing about LeBron. So over the course of this season, especially in the last, I would say 3 or 4 weeks, you've heard Rich Paul say LeBron had the toughest road, had a tougher he had a tougher journey to get to where he's at than Michael Jordan. You heard LeBron during the All-Star weekend say that, not even All-Star, All-Star weekend, they told Kenny Smith, he said after he repeated what he said 3 years ago when they beat Golden State, that I thought I was the GOAT when we came back from 3-1 and won that series. And then he comes out this week and says that you guys, I don't get enough respect as one of the greatest scorers of all time. And it pisses me off that I'm not mentioned as one of the greatest scorers of all time. Are you buying this way for him to push his own GOAT now?
Yes, I am buying it. I am buying it because all the great ones think like this. Think about how Jordan is. Jordan's crazy and you're the greatest. And you're still crazy, hyper competitive, talking about your high school. This is just how their minds work. So yes, I know the point that you're getting at, and I agree with you in terms of, or I'll make my point and see if you agree with me, that what he's doing, what's obviously happening is they are creating the argument for why he's the greatest of all time without 5 championships. Because he's seeing it's probably not likely he's going to get number 5. That's what he's seeing. That's what he's seeing. And so it's like, all right, how do I lock up this argument? I'm this close right now. So, and people say it more often than not. So how do I not lock up the argument, defend my greatest of all time while not having equal championships as Michael Jordan? That's the argument. That's what they're trying to create right now. But no, I'm not surprised by this because the person he's chasing is a crazy person as well. In this set. All the great ones think like this. Kobe thinks like that. Probably the only one that doesn't think like this is Tim Duncan, because who the hell knows what Tim Duncan thinks? But all the rest of them think like this, think in this psychotic way. So no, I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised by it. And it's like the one thing that he, in this lost season, that he has to hold on to be honest with you. Like, it's the one, like the scoring.
I mean, and the other thing is LeBron has been fine for y'all.
Yeah, no, he's been fine. No, he's not.
Player LeBron is fine.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what part you have the most problem with and why this situation is what is. It's the influence LeBron has off the court.
Yes. That
has created this mess. But LeBron, the player, can, drop 50 when he wants to.
Yes.
Can single-handedly win a game, do all the things that no other player has been able to do at this age. That's what he's talking about. And it's an argument, it's there, it's everything. It's just a hard one to hear right now when your team is on fire.
Yeah. 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 No, it's
and this is also, it's great for all those opportunities going to LA, but also with that is the expectations are there, it's LA and it's the Yankees. And it was the Patriots of Tom Brady, right? There is no other thing other than winning a championship and putting another banner up. There is nothing else. So every season you don't do that, you suck.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's the expectation. You chose to go to LA. Nobody made you do that. So, yep, big boy pants on. But the way that they react, these mega superstars, the way that they react to that valid criticism is they talk about no one understands how great they are. No one understands their competitive. No one understands that all the work out. Blah, blah. They all do that when they feel attacked. Like we don't give for every negative comment they hear, they don't hear a billion positive comments. But that that athlete mentality, the losses linger longer than the wins, and the criticisms sting way more than the praise. Addicted to praise, but as soon as they get a criticism, here they go.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how people respond to his constant pushing this narrative, because we know we did like 10 episodes of Jordan and how narcissistic he is, and especially during his playing days. But the one thing is, Jordan never came out and said, "I'm the GOAT."
Jordan has never not stopped being a narcissist.
No, he still is. Yeah, he still is. Yeah, no, but especially during his playing days, like, yeah, he still is, of course. But Jordan has never come out and said, "I'm the GOAT." I'm the GOAT per se, and never pushed a narrative to say.
No, real, but don't do that, because what Jordan does is he attacks everybody.
Yeah, he does. He does. He will. He does attack everybody.
Yes, he does. He attacks everybody. Everybody. No matter how big or how small, he's a bully.
He's a bully.
We're not going to elevate Jordan's personality.
No. I'm saying it's going to be interesting to see how media fans respond to someone telling them, "I'm the GOAT, I'm the GOAT, I'm the GOAT," when more times than not, it's the fans who kind of decide, "Hey, this guy is the GOAT," or the media, "This guy is the GOAT." So this is a different tactic that we're seeing from LeBron.
But honestly, fans and media are the ones who bring it up.
No, yeah, they talk about it. We talk about it.
That's what gives him permission to say these things, because people have said this first.
Yes.
To me, the conversation shouldn't start until we get to 5, but that's just me. People were having this conversation about him when he was at 3.
Yeah.
So, then he got another one and another thing. So why would that make him think less of his accomplishments? He's going to elevate. So if we're calling him the GOAT, this is why words matter, people. If we're going to do this when he has 3, then we can't downshift when he gets another. So the conversation can only escalate. I know you want to lie this at the feet of LeBron, but this does not just like
the media. No. The media has its own, like, they, these shows.
LeBron was created by the media.
Yes.
Let's not do that. Like he grew up in this age. Like they are symbiotic in that circumstance as well. And so what I'm saying is the one feeds off of the other. And so LeBron is empowered to say comments like that because comments have been being said about him like that since he was a child, right? Yep. And so inflated ego, yada yada, all that stuff. But where he is 100% accurate is, I can't think of another athlete that had the expectations on him and met and exceeded every single one. Yep. Outside of being the greatest of all time. That's a ridiculous metric to even start at, right?
Outside, like somebody like Tiger Woods, maybe Tiger Woods. Sure, that's it.
Sure. But who cares about golf? Nobody did.
No.
But in terms of like that. So, anyways, that is all part of this story. What will be infinitely fascinating to me is once he is retired, how does the conversation go? Because it builds clicks, it builds headlines, it builds all the stuff now because he's still playing. Once he's retired, how do those conversations go? It's great barbershop talk right now. It's great bar talk right now. It's great hot take talks. It's great all 24 sports news cycle talk. All that is great, and all that feeds the machine. But the for real legacy stuff comes when the players retire.
Yeah.
That's when it gets real.
Yeah. It was a big deal, the fact that Jordan got the loudest ovation at the All-Star thing. That's that in Cleveland. That's the gravitation. That's
Jordan. Jordan is not like now, like when we start really talking and things like that, Jordan's beyond how many rings he has.
Yeah.
Jordan's an icon. like a American icon. Like that's levels that, I mean, we're talking about historical figures at that point in time. Jordan's Jordan. Jordan, his brand is going to outlive him times. He's solidified. LeBron's nowhere near that level. He just is. And I don't know any athlete that can honestly say they are at that level or can even aspire to be at that level.
No.
So yes, Jordan got the loudest cheer at the All-Star game. Yes. Jordan is Jordan. Jordan will be Jordan forever.
Did you catch the Laker series? The
Is it Hulu?
No, it's on HBO Max.
That's right. But no, isn't it on? It's on HBO proper.
No, it's on regular HBO. Yeah, it's on regular HBO. Yes, but I mean,
that's why I haven't caught it yet, because I was looking for it and it was something.
But I mean, it should be. I mean, I know it's on regular HBO, but it should be also on HBO Max as well. They shipped all their.
I just gotta find it, basically.
Okay, yeah, no, it's on there. No,
start watching it.
It's very good. Very
okay.
Good. Very good. Only through one episode. It started last week, but it's very good. It's some definitely some nuggets. Definitely some nuggets that even as a Laker fan I didn't know.
Definitely want to watch it. Yeah, that's a fun one.
It's a lot of well cast and
those survivor generation. This is a fun one.
No, absolutely. You would you'll like it. No, I know you'll like it. So we are going. I kind of announced this earlier. Rob Sapp and I coming up in a few weeks once the NBA season is over, and also once I'm done with Snowfall, we'll start a NBA playoff type podcast where we'll break down what's going on in the playoffs throughout the course of the playoffs. It should be a fun 2 months of the playoffs. Like these playoffs are going to be just ridiculous because of so many factors. You got the idea that Denver might get Jamal Murray and Michael Porter back. Who knows what's happening with, who knows what's going to happen with Simmons and what have you. And the Eastern Conference is just all over the place in regards, especially at the top. Lakers could miss the playoffs. That's just very much in play. But there are major question marks about the top teams in the West. I mean, Chris Paul with this, when does Chris Paul come back? He's going to come back, but that they, until he comes back, Phoenix is a question mark. Golden State, Draymond, his back injury. I don't. He's coming back, but what at how will he be when he comes back? We know these back injuries can be tricky, so it feels like a lot of question marks, more question marks than we've had in a long time going into these playoffs. I really don't know what's going to happen. And it's fascinating, to be honest with
you. Agreed.
So we will have podcasts coming up in late April. That's basically when the playoffs start. Again, it's going to be a tremendous playoff series, even from the beginning. I mean, the play-ins will be fun. I mean, you have a situation where you might have the Lakers and Clippers playing the play-in game. The Clippers would love nothing more than to beat the Lakers in the playoff. Ooh, the Clippers would love that. Oh, they would love it. And again, who knows when Ben Simmons is going to come back? He's definitely not coming back this week. We knew that probably wasn't going to happen with
there was no chance.
The
only way we get what we want is if they meet in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's the only way. There was no way.
And so no one's surprised. Yeah, James Harden's playing well. That's not a shocker.
We called that. We knew that.
Yeah. No. No one's surprised.
The fit was great. Everything he's going to do, he's going to be on his best behavior for the first 4 months.
Yep.
Until that first bump in the playoffs. That's when it'll get real.
Yep. So.
But yeah, right now everything is roses. Everything was going to be roses.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Should be a fascinating playoffs. We could be seeing the coming of age team in Memphis. I mean, if somebody tells me that Memphis is in the NBA Finals in June, would I be shocked? No.
I would love to see that.
No.
Really would love to see that.
So The
Morant
playoffs.
is on one. He's legit on one.
Yes, yeah. No,
On
he's broken out. He's a breakout star. This time, that's all it's to it. He's the best, must see TV every night when he plays.
I mean, we just crushed the guy, but it is very reminiscent of early Westbrook when Westbrook burst on the scene. It was just like, what? Who is this person? Or Rose when they were just so dominant athletically. And what I like about it's an extension of that with Morant, but it's not that because he could just shoot from everywhere. Yeah.
I get the athletic comparisons with
Right.
Westbrook and Derrick Rose, but to me,
It's not just the athletic. That's why I brought in the shot.
Yeah, it's more, and in terms of like the leadership, he's the best player on the team. Westbrook was, Durant was the best player when Westbrook came.
That's also why I brought in Rose, but I'm talking
Rose,
about
Rose
the dynamics of
yes.
Westbrook. So I know you're in your feelings on him, so that's why I want to bring this up because I do want to remind, like Westbrook's, like let's be fair to him over his career.
He's all of his career.
When he was early, like when he said this, I remember how just awe-inspiring dominant he was. I remember this. We've always thought he was miscast as a point guard, but that said nothing about his dominance.
No, he's physical. He's as a physical specimen.
You put him at two and just said go. Oh, he's destroying you. He was destroying you. There's nobody could stop him, bro. There was nobody. There's nobody, especially before the injury. There was nobody. It was just him being miscast as a point guard. That was the biggest thing.
But it's more. I think Morant. The difference between Morant is this team as well. Like this.
Well, and it's also the evolution. He's evolved. I mean, he's part of the evolution of the game.
Yes.
He's a much more refined version of those earlier prototypes.
Yes.
Of just the super athletic, explosive guard.
But that
doesn't have a position.
Yeah, they're going to be.
People bring up Jordan and Kobe, but they had positions.
Yeah, no, they're going to be. The Memphis team is going to be fun. Definitely, they're already fun to watch. But they, seeing them navigate, take these steps as they move in the playoffs, and again in the Western Conference, that's frankly there for the taking. They're major, like I said, major question marks with Phoenix and Golden State right now. I mean, Phoenix and Golden State healthy are the two best teams. That goes without saying, but they are not healthy. So, there's some question marks.
It does.
Yeah, health does matter. And, it'll be interesting, Jokic and Luka, have been kind of like one-man shows. So it's a lot of talent in the NBA right now, a lot of depth, a lot of talent, even with some of the bad teams that have talented players. So from that standpoint, NBA is in a good place as far as, so when the postseason, especially when the postseason comes, definitely looking forward to it. As always, thank you, Mr. Sapp, joining us on this NFL special. As the NFL just does what the NFL does. I'm stuck with Carson Wentz. You have Josh Allen. So,
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good. You're good.
I'm good over here. Y'all keep that. We dealt with y'all have that. Enjoy this process. I'm good. I did 20 years of that.
You don't miss Rob Johnson?
Nah, I don't miss Rob Johnson. I don't miss Alex Van Pelt. I don't miss who was another one I had forgotten about? No, Ty Collins. That's another one that we had.
We had Ty Collins too. We had
Who else did we have?
Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick was there. Buffalo fans still love him. I hate Fitzpatrick, as you know. It's just Drew Bledsoe, of course, was there as well. Oh, Rob Johnson hurts my soul. That one still hurts so much. That one hurts so much.
Tyrod Taylor, you like Flutie.
Yeah, Flutie Flakes was cool. Flutie Flakes was cool. That's why the Rob Johnson one hurt so much because Flutie should have been in that game.
Yes.
So anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. But yes, I played that game for a long time. I'm good.
Good to have
turning that over to you.
Great to have a quarterback.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm not gonna lie. We're good. All right, sir. You have a wonderful evening.
All right, sir. Take it easy.
See you next time.
That's going to wrap it up for this latest edition of the Ril Dil podcast. Of course, I will see you or hear from you You will hear from me tomorrow evening as we break down the latest episode of Snowfall, which comes on tonight, but we'll do the episode tomorrow, Revolution. So that should be a tremendous episode as it always is. This episode will be up later on tonight, early tomorrow morning. So I'll put it up. Have a great rest of your evening. So long.